Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our VidaLive event for May. This month is sponsorship month at Impact Ministries. So we are featuring sponsorship during this VidaLive. And today I am so excited because we kind of have a bit of a reunion going on. We have joined with us from Guatemala, Gustavo, who is one of our teachers, and he'll introduce himself in a second. But he's joined there with Julie Sawatsky, who is our hospitality director. And we are also joined today in this interview by Larry and Val. And Larry and Val live in BC, and they were actually Gustavo's sponsors. So we're going to do a little bit of an interview. We're going to talk about what sponsorship is, what it means to all three of these people, and just the impact it's made. And then at the end, we'll have a chance for you guys to ask some questions. So again, we just want to say, welcome. My name is Kristen, if I didn't say that at the beginning. And just again, thank you for joining us from wherever you're joining us from tonight. So I'm going to begin by asking Gustavo, I'm going to start by asking you a question, and Julie's going to do some translating. But first, do you want to let us know just a little bit of what you do with Impact Ministries, what school you're involved in, and just a little bit of how long you've been in that position?
Are we good?
Yeah.
Buenas noches o buenos días.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Yo creo que para mí también es una bendición por estar acá.
For me, it's also a blessing to be here.
La verdad es de que pues durante el tiempo en que yo llevo conociendo Ministerios de Impacto,
The truth is that during the time that I've known Impact Ministries,
ha sido siempre una bendición para mí y mi familia.
it has always been a blessing to me and to my family.
Yo estoy laborando en el colegio Vida Mocuán.
I'm working in the life school in Mocuán.
Soy docente del nivel medio, el básico.
I work in the junior high school.
Y pues impartiendo con los 3 grados.
And I work with the 3 grades in junior high.
De Ministerios de Impacto, pues yo llegué, mi familia llegó a conocer a través de los hermano Les y hermana Rita.
My family came to know about Impact Ministries through Brother Les and Sister Rita.
Desde muy pequeños, pues nosotros asistimos o llegamos, conocimos Ministerios de Impacto a través de la iglesia.
We started attending the church a long time ago when I was very little.
Y gracias a Dios, pues hemos visto la obra del Señor.
And thanks to God, we've seen his work
en nuestra familia.
In our family.
Awesome. So Gustavo, you were sponsored, I think from pretty early on, from kindergarten, by Larry and Val, who are here. So what did it mean for you to be sponsored as a child?
Eras niño.
La verdad es de que
the truth is
significaba mucho.
That it meant so much.
El significado de patrocinador para mí.
The meaning of a sponsor for me.
Tomó mucho a pecho hacia mí.
It was something that really touched me.
Porque pues el sentir que otras personas que yo no conocía.
The feeling that other people that I didn't even know.
El saber de que pues podía ver el amor de Dios a través de ellos.
Knowing that I could see God's love through them.
Pues siempre ha sido muy especial.
It has always been very special.
So Larry and Val, I'm going to come to you guys for a second. So I'll ask you this question, but maybe you can just tell a little bit about even how long you've been involved with the ministry. But why did you guys choose to sponsor through Impact Ministries? See if I can unmute you.
Okay, how's that?
Perfect.
Okay. We got involved with Impact Ministries, well, really from its conception with Les and Rita, as supporters. So he was a principal down here at the school, so that's where we met them and got to know them as friends. And so when they decided to pull the pin here and go to Guatemala, it was kind of our first experience knowing them as missionaries. we didn't really know any other missionaries. So it was a whole new experience for us. So 2002 was the first year we went down with Impact Ministries. We went down with KCS school with Les as a leader. Well, Val went twice and I went once previous to that in 96 and 98 and 96 and 99. So we got to know the ministry, and that's when I joined up to be on the board of Impact Ministries in 2002.
And then we went down to help Les and Rita hosting teams in 2002. And we were down there for a couple of months. And we had already been sponsoring some children with another ministry. And when they started the sponsorship with Impact Ministries, we thought it would be an awesome opportunity for us to be able to, meet our sponsored child. And so that's why we switched to Impact Ministries.
And one of the reasons we dropped the other ministry was we knew we were going to Guatemala, and one of the kids we were sponsoring with this ministry was from Guatemala. So we made arrangements to go see them, see this child as you're supposed to be allowed to, and they couldn't make it happen. So we thought, well, you know what, we can make this happen whenever we want with Impact Ministries. So that's when we switched over.
Awesome. So Gustavo, do you remember how it felt when you were first sponsored?
Pues, como siempre he dicho, algo sorprendente,
It was surprising for me
porque, pues, literalmente, quizás sí había recibido algún regalo de parte de
because
algún miembro de mi familia,
literally I had maybe received a present from someone in my family once in a while,
pero saber que alguien me patrocina de otro lugar
but knowing that somebody was sponsoring me from another place,
era, para mí era algo bonito
for me it was a beautiful thing,
y yo me sentía muy bien
and I felt very good
porque, pues, bueno, con el hecho de que podía experimentar también la bendición de Dios a través de ellos,
because other than the fact that I was able to experience a blessing from God through them,
también podía saber de que, pues, también podía contar con el apoyo de ellos
I also knew that I could count on their support
para yo seguir adelante.
to move forward.
So we're sitting here, and Larry and Val, you guys are now seeing Gustavo as a teacher and seeing him grown up. So what does that mean for you? What's it have meant for you over the past many years, I guess, to have seen him grow up through the school and now to be in this place now?
Well, it's a huge blessing.
Es una gran bendición.
It's been a lot of fun getting to know him over the years and seeing him. We've been down several times and been part of his life and part of his family life. We know his brothers and his little sister and mom and dad, and it's been a huge blessing for us.
I think seeing him from a kindergarten age and just the transitioning through all the years, just being faithful to the Lord, loving the Lord, and also seeing the examples of the older teachers. They're not old, not that they're old, but the teachers that are there, the setting. Now he's in that position. He's, we are so proud of him. He's such a great young man. And it's just been a thrill to see him rise up as a leader now and become the man he is.
And Larry and Val, I think you guys have a couple things with you that maybe you received many years ago, but maybe you just want to show one of those pictures or something. So with sponsorship, there is an opportunity to write back and forth to where you'll receive mail or where you can write online. But Larry was showing us right before everyone joined of a photo, and maybe you can just share that just to see kind of over the years that.
Well, this is one of the pictures when he was younger. I don't know if you can see that well. He sent of his family, and he just named them all, so we'd know all of his brothers and sisters or his brothers rather at that time, that we had met when we were down there.
And this is another photo that I quite like. Pardon me?
Get closer.
Anyways, this is another photo of him receiving his shoes at Christmas time. And I always thought that was kind of a special picture as well. Because your sponsorship supports them in receiving their shoes and their sweaters and uniforms. And so I think that's kind of neat too.
Yeah, I think that's so special that you guys, even that picture, that you could have that and see, you know, the whole family, right? And see all the brothers and be praying for them as well. So that's really cool. So in a similar sense, I'll ask Gustavo this. What words of encouragement did you receive from your sponsor? What's something that really stands out that meant a lot to you, that maybe it was something you received or a visit where they spoke something into your life?
Yo creo que la visita de ellos para mí era muy especial.
Their visits to me were very, very special.
Y saber de que ellos iban a venir acá en Guatemala,
And knowing that they were going to come here to Guatemala,
porque cada vez que ellos venían, pues siempre a nosotros nos decían, van a venir tus patrocinadores.
because every time that they would come, they would say to me, oh, your sponsors are coming.
Y pues yo me sentía muy contento
And that made me feel so happy
al saber de que los iba a ver,
to know that I was going to see
al
them
saber
again,
de que iba a poder interactuar con ellos,
to know that I was going to be able to interact with them.
que aunque pues no pudiera, aunque el idioma pues sea completamente
Even
diferente,
though the language is completely different,
pues siempre logramos, con mi familia siempre logramos experimentar palabras como
with
Dios
my
te
family,
bendiga.
we were always able to experience words like God bless you.
Dios tiene grandes propósitos para su familia.
God has great purposes for your family.
Y también puedo describir
And I can describe
que no solamente pueden ser palabras,
that it's not only just words,
porque a veces ellos venían acá en Guatemala
because sometimes they would come to here to
y
Guatemala
con un abrazo que se podía sentir de ellos,
and with an embrace that I felt from them,
se podía sentir la bendición de Dios también.
we could feel God's blessing in that.
Entonces, a través del patrocinio que
And
ellos
through-
también transmitían hacia mí,
Through sponsorship that they shared with me,
puedo describir de que habían palabras de ánimo, muchas palabras de ánimo,
I can describe that there were many, many words of encouragement,
pero también acciones
but also actions
que mostraban que Dios ha sido fiel siempre.
that showed me that God was always faithful.
Awesome. So for you guys, Larry and Val, what did it mean for your family? What did it mean for your kids to see sponsorship be an important part of your family?
Well, it's interesting. Our sponsorship, of course, extended even further than our family to our aunts, outside of our immediate family. But I mean, a couple of our kids sponsored some children down there, 3 of them sponsored children. And, I had an aunt who was down in Vancouver who just loved what we were doing. And she says, I want to sponsor a child. And
My parents,
yeah, Valerie's parents sponsored one.
my
And
brother and sister.
yeah, I mean, it kind of snowballed. So it was actually a real good opportunity to share what Impact Ministries is doing. Because usually there's that leading question coming from someone else to us saying, well, who's this? Where's this? So because the pictures are on our fridge. So, it just gives us a real good opportunity to share what Impact Ministries is doing down there. So it was really important to our family because
Mhm,
it just spread.
mhm.
And even taking teams down, we've taken, I guess, 3-4 teams. Well, they've always done a few more, but and then the church, ends up sponsoring, and some of the adults end up sponsoring. It's just a wonderful opportunity.
Awesome. And it's so cool how, again, as you said, it snowballs, right? And and just that people are excited about it. And it's those connections, right? That we can sit here on this call and you guys have seen Gustavo grow up right from kindergarten to now teaching, and that's so encouraging and exciting to see. So Gustavo, as a teacher, I know that you do talk about sponsorship, but what do you tell your students about sponsorship?
Yo creo que aparte de recibir a bendiciones a través de ellos,
I think that apart from receiving blessings through sponsors,
también puedo decir de que son, bueno, yo les he contado a mis
I can
alumnos
also say, and I've told my students,
de que los patrocinadores siempre van a ser grandes personas.
that sponsors are just amazing people.
Yo cada vez que empiezo a hablar de patrocinios con nuestros alumnos,
Every time that I start to talk about sponsorship with our students,
yo vengo y recuerdo de que, pues para mí, ellos siempre
I come and I remember
significaron como un héroe.
that they always seemed to me like heroes.
Tenía esa perspectiva,
I had that perspective,
o lo veo desde esa
and
perspectiva,
I see it from that perspective.
porque pues también me ayudaron a poder sobresalir y seguir adelante.
Because they helped me to overcome the obstacles in my life and to move forward.
No solamente porque yo quería formarme académicamente,
Not only because I wanted to study academically,
sino porque podía también servirle a Dios.
but I also wanted to serve God.
Entonces, desde esa perspectiva yo vengo y le decía a nuestros alumnos
And so from that perspective, I come and I say to our students
de que ellos son como personas que dan su tiempo para servir a nuestro país,
that sponsors are people who give of their time to serve our country.
y pues siempre les he comentado de que pues ellos han sido personas muy especiales.
And I've always told them that our sponsors are very special people.
Por lo tanto, pues también siempre comentar de que oren en sus casas por sus vidas.
I always remind the children to pray when they're at home for their sponsors.
Incluso en el colegio también lo hacemos demasiado.
At school, we also take time to pray for our sponsors.
Y pues saber de que ellos están a distancia
Know that they are at a distance,
y quizás pues no podemos compartir
and maybe we're not able to share
de manera cercana,
in a close way with them,
pero a través de nuestras oraciones
but through our prayers,
sabemos de que estamos bendiciendo sus vidas.
we know that we can bless their lives.
Yeah, just the other week, a couple pictures came our way, and it was just students with their sponsor name, and they were just praying for their sponsor, and it was just an encouragement to know that, you know, these kids in Guatemala, they're praying for you guys, and they're praying for their sponsors, and there's just such a special relationship there that they have. So Larry and Val, what's been a highlight for you guys in sponsorship? We'll kind of end with that question, but what's a highlight for you guys?
Well, gosh, there's been so many. I think probably being able to be part of the lives of our sponsored child, like not just them alone, but their whole family. Like we've been able to go into their home and pray with the family and just spend time trying to, you know, deal with the whole language barrier and just, yeah, because there was times where we would go there and just be part of their family, and it was very, very special. And to me, that was a highlight, to just be part of the family, be part of their family.
I can remember once we were invited over to their cell group, basically their home group, and you know, we can understand a little bit of Spanish, but not very much. And of course, most of these people that were in there didn't understand any English, but they wanted me to read from the Bible. They just wanted to hear it in English, I guess. And so it's so interesting because, you know, just to connect spiritually with them too in prayer. And, you know, you don't need to know what they're saying, and they don't need to know what we're saying, but we know the Holy Spirit moves within us and unites us. So just getting to know Gustavo from such a young age and see all of his brothers and his parents and the change in the entire family life, it has just been such a blessing for us. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, just want to thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for just sharing a bit of the past really 20 years and some of those highlights and stories and what sponsorship meant to both of you guys, to Gustavo and your family, and to Larry and Val and your family as well. I want to make sure that we have lots of time for questions, just because I know there may be some of those. I also want to say we do have our child sponsorship coordinators from Canada and US here. So if you do have any questions, they're definitely willing to answer some of those. But if you have any questions for Gustavo, if you have any questions for Larry and Val, please feel free to write those in the chat. We're going to just spend a few minutes hearing from you guys and just connecting. And again, just want to say thank you for sharing what you have so far. So I'll ask this one. This one came in here. I know the past couple of years have been a bit different, but what did sponsorship look like, or did anything change over the past couple of years? And I'll ask that one to maybe you guys, Julie, there with Gustavo, or Julie McLaren can jump in.
Pues yo creo que, bueno, yo puedo decir de
What I
que
can say
ha sido un poco
is
diferente.
that it has been a little bit different.
Es decir, bueno, normalmente en años atrás
That's to say, in years past,
se podía visualizar de que personas del extranjero venían para acá.
we were able to see that foreigners would come here, or people from North America would come here.
Bueno, puedo decir de que solo desde esa perspectiva
And
es
that's
diferente.
that's the only perspective that is different,
Porque en lo demás,
because everything else,
yo creo que los patrocinadores siempre han permanecido fieles.
sponsors have remained faithful,
También aportando también para bendecir a familias
the sponsors have still been blessing families
a través de víveres,
through grocery packs,
de un par de zapatos,
a pair of shoes,
uniformes.
uniforms.
Entonces, podemos ver de que pues siempre se ha mostrado el amor de Dios a través de ellos.
So we can say that God's love has still been shining through them.
So there's a question here for Gustavo. Do you, and you may know this, may not, do most of your students have sponsors currently?
Sí, gracias a Dios, pues
Yes.
en el colegio de Moncán, donde yo estoy,
In the Mukwon school where I am,
pues el director nos ha comentado de
the
que
principal has told us
todos los alumnos tienen un patrocinador.
that most of the children, or all of the children, do have sponsors.
Es en el nivel en donde yo estoy.
And
en el
that's, I mean,
básico.
that's in the junior high where I'm working.
Ujú.
Yeah, I think every day this month we've featured a child on our social media, and the child today, he was in grade 10, but he's from Moquan, so you can check him out as well. And if you're just being led to sponsor, there's an option for you. Here's another question, Gustavo. How would your life be different if you had not received the sponsorship?
That's a tough one.
Eso es difícil.
Yo creo que, pues, bueno, sin el ministerio, más que todo,
Without the ministry,
quizás mi familia
I think that my family
no hubiera conocido acerca de la iglesia,
wouldn't have known about the church.
de los colegios,
We wouldn't have known about the schools.
incluso, pues tampoco hubiéramos sabido cómo es patrocinar.
We wouldn't have known about sponsorship.
Pero gracias a Dios,
But thanks to God,
pues desde que, bueno, desde que, pues yo desde muy pequeño,
Ever since I was very little,
siempre he tenido a una familia muy especial
I've always had a very special family
que ha amado a Dios
that has loved God.
y pues no puedo ver mi vida de manera diferente,
I can't imagine my life in a different way
también porque pues de una u otra manera Ministerios Impacto a través de los colegios y
in one way
patrocinios
or another. Impact Ministries through the schools and through sponsorship
ha sido de edificación para mi vida
has edified my life,
y me han ayudado bastante.
and I've been really helped.
Entonces, eso también es gracias a la obra que Dios ha hecho en mi vida.
And that's also thanks to the work that God has done in my life.
Well, again, if anyone has any questions, we're going to do a couple more. And then once we're done those, we're going to end the recording portion of these VidaLives. And we'll let you guys unmute and we'll just have some more time for some question where you can ask just verbally instead of writing it down. But if anyone has any more questions, feel free to write them in the chat.
Just while people are writing a question in the chat, I thought I'd just mention there are still quite a few children that need sponsors. We've got a lot of new students and a few students who maybe their sponsors weren't able to continue on. So I think many people here in the VidaLive today do support or sponsor children, but feel free to share it with friends. It is a great opportunity, and there are students that don't have sponsors right now. So that would be really great.
Yeah, for sure.
And if I can just add something, like we've been very fortunate to have Gustavo for throughout his school years. We've had other sponsors too, and some of them don't last long. Some of them get pulled from school early, and for whatever family reasons. But if you get another one, the ministry does give you another one if that one gets pulled, and that one may go the duration of the school. You never know. We've had a number of sponsors through Impact Ministries. Gustavo was the longest though, and yeah, some of them last a long time. Probably 50% go on through it, and then others, just for whatever apparent reason happens, don't continue through school.
Yeah, we've had that experience too, but we just trust that the Lord, in the time that the student has been at the school, that they've, their lives have already been touched and changed. So sometimes it can get a little bit discouraging, but we realize that any education they've had and hearing about the gospel is something that may not have happened without their connection at the school. So we hold on to that and just trust that the Lord has a plan for the next student we've been given.
Exactly.
And one thing that just is really cool, and if you've never gotten the chance to use this program, I'd really encourage you, but we have a program called Sponsor Soft, and there you can actually write your kids almost like an email, and that gets translated and then sent, and the teachers will hand these messages out, and then the kids will write back, it'll get translated, and it will put online again, and you'll get an email notification when there's new emails, when there's new photos or teacher reports, and it's just a really great way for you guys to stay connected. Again, you may just hear, a really short, hi, hope you're doing well, sending love and hugs, but even something like that, or even if you send something like that, just praying for you today. I know that's such an encouragement for the kids. So if you've never got on Sponsor Soft, if you do sponsor a kid, and you just want to learn more about that, you can definitely reach out to us and we can get you connected in that way. But if you do sponsor a kid and you've never seen some of those photos, we really want to get you connected, because there's probably some photos there waiting. So that's just a really cool way in which you can just stay in communication and get to know your child a little bit more. So we'd love for you to just use that if you do sponsor a kid. And if you have any questions, you can email Annette or Julie, or go to the link that Michelle just put there. But we'll get you connected. If anyone else has any questions, again, please feel free to write them in the chat. We might have some time for a couple more, and then we'll move on to the time where you guys can unmute yourself.
There's a sponsor team going down in the summer. Is there sometime, Kristen?
Yeah,
I mean-
so we have, yeah, we have a sponsorship team going down in August. So it'll be a 11-day trip, and we would love for anyone to join that. We still have room on it, and those trips are really special. You'll get to go and have time with your kid to have a home visit or a visit at school. There may be some special activities that are really just focused on sponsorship. You don't have to sponsor a kid to come on the trip, but it's a great opportunity to connect with your child. So again, if that sparks any interest, we do have a couple spaces left. We do have some more room. So Julie and Scott, who are here as well, they will be leading that team, and we'll definitely get you connected or answer any questions you might have about that.
And you may end up sponsoring their little brother or sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll kind of wrap this portion up, but again, we would love for you guys to stay on. We realize that you may have to head out, but we'd love for you to stay on, and I'm gonna just allow you guys to unmute in a second. But I do want to just say our next VidaLive is going to be June 17th. So these happen on the 17th of every month, and it's going to be at 12:30 Guatemala time. So that's 11:30 BC, that's 3:30 PEI. We kind of have it all covered, but 12:30 Guatemala time. And we're going to be featuring schools. So we're really hoping to be on location at a school, and you might get to see some kids in the background. But that's June 17th at 12:30 Guatemala time. And I just want to again say thank you for everyone for taking the time out of their evening tonight. Anyone who rushed out of supper to get here, or anyone who is ready for bed, just want to say thank you. It's been so good to see you guys. And of course, thank you, Gustavo, for joining us. Thank you, Larry and Val, for being a part of this as well. It's just been a joy to hear about sponsorship. So we're going to end this recording, but then again, please stay on, and I'll allow you guys to unmute yourself, and we can ask some more questions or hang out and chat a little bit more. So thank you again for joining us.